All right, back at TD Garden here, Josue Pavon alongside Jeff Goodman. Jeff, Gordon Hayward, he told you he's a 100%. I mean, this is sort of the Gordon Hayward that we've been waiting to see. He's certainly showed it. It's a small sample size, which Brad Stevens, of course, reminded us. Not when you're talking about specifically Gordon Hayward per se, but it is a small sample size. But where do you feel he is in a sense of what we're going to see long term?
Listen, tonight was maybe as good an all-around game as we've seen out of Gordon Hayward in the last year plus, right? I mean, 21 points, 10. He rebounded, he passed it, which he does. His mid-range game looks absolutely tremendous. The one thing I asked him about the other night was relative to being 100%. Like, we haven't seen you with that burst yet. We haven't seen you really dunk over anybody or really get by somebody.
But I'm loving the up and under, though.
Right.
He's done that a few times. They just look great every single time. Bunch of confidence
And
there.
he had the quickness. Like,
Right.
at times, again, we forget. Like, Gordon Hayward's never a super explosive athlete all the time. He
That's
had
true.
it, but he didn't always show it. He's cerebral, and all the Celtics need for him is to be a number 3 guy on this team.
Right.
Be a consistent number 3 where you know what you're going to get every single night. Last year, what did he have? 1 out of every 10 games? He'd really show his Gordon Hayward. Now, if he can get it 8 out of every 10 games,
Right.
and Tatum and Kemba Walker are your number 1 and your 2, which they were tonight for the most part when it mattered, you're going to be fine.
You know what? I've always thought that Gordon Hayward heading into the season, the first half specifically, getting out to a quick start, he's someone I envisioned as that secondary playmaker. Have you seen him that way as well?
Oh, he's got to be.
And
because, again,
right.
Kemba's not a distributor first. He's never
Right.
at least he's never been that way. Maybe he can turn into more of a distributor
He's
because
always been
got
asked
weapons.
to do more.
Right. He's
Right.
had no choice.
Right.
At UConn, in Charlotte, he's had to be the guy.
That's right.
Gordon Hayward's somebody that really you can run the offense through. He's going to make the right decision. He's going to move the ball. He'll take what the defense gives him, and that's what he did tonight.
That's right. All right. And this segment, of course, is brought to you by CBS HQ. Download the app today. No hassle, no sign up, no email. All you have to do is download the app. That's CBS HQ. Download it today. So where does the Celtics team go from here? I mean, of course, the schedule does get relatively more difficult down the road. This bench is looking very thin.
Got the Knicks next, though, at
After
home.
the Knicks. I'm looking past them.
All right.
Let's just look
You're
past
already
the
counting
Knicks.
as a win.
I mean, can we? After a win
don't
like
wanna play
this,
it?
after a win like this, okay, I'm going to say it's going to be maybe a tough battle. But
Come on, you're not worried about Alonzo Trier?
Let's move on here. Let's talk about
Mitchell Robinson.
Let's talk about how important Gordon Hayward, of course, is going to be for this team, but also how important are the other guys? This bench, I mean, that's always been my concern heading into the season. When you don't have someone like Jaylen Brown, like we saw, when you don't have someone like Cantor, they struggle right out the gates.
They do, and I think when you get those guys back, I think a big question might be down the road. Do you bring Cantor off the bench? Because he can score. And to put him with that second unit,
I think you have to, at least in the beginning.
yeah, I mean, Brad didn't do that to start the season.
Right.
But I really like Daniel Tice with that first unit. He gives you energy. He gives you defense. He gives you effort. And I think, again, Cantor really would help with that second unit, which a lot of those guys kind of struggle to score right now.
Yeah, I thought Tice was very impressive for what he
Oh,
did
it's
on both
great.
ends of the floor, and Celtics going to need plenty of that moving forward. That's going to do it for us here at TD Garden. Of course, we'll be back here Friday night when the Celtics take on the Knicks, which is going to be a nail-biter. And according to Goodman, we'll have to wait and see. And, of course, you can find all of our coverage on CLNSmedia.com and, of course, on YouTube at CLNS Media.